5 years ago, Marcus was earning $52,000 a year, renting a one-bedroom apartment, driving a 2012 Civic, and telling himself that if he could just hit $85,000, everything would finally feel stable. Today, he makes $97,000. The apartment became a townhome. The Civic became a $29,000 crossover. The grocery store trips turned into meal delivery. And somehow the tightness in his chest about money feels exactly the same. The goalpost has already moved to $130,000. This isn't a personal failure. It's psychology. In the 1970s, researchers Philip Brickman and Donald Campbell introduced what became known as the Hedonic Treadmill. In 1978, a study in the Journal of Personality and Social Psychology found that lottery winners were not dramatically happier 1 year later. Some even reported enjoying everyday pleasures less. Human beings adapt. Raises feel electric for about 3 to 6 months. Then the brain recalibrates. The new income becomes normal. The nicer place becomes baseline. Large-scale data backs this up. In 2010, Daniel Kahneman and Angus Deaton analyzed more than 450,000 responses and found emotional well-being rises with income up to about $75,000 per year. Adjusted for inflation today, that's roughly $95,000 to $100,000. Beyond that, happiness increases, but the gains shrink sharply. In 2021, Matthew Killingsworth showed income can continue to correlate with higher life satisfaction above that threshold, but the slope flattens. Doubling your income does not double your happiness. The curve bends. Marcus's spreadsheet shows why the feeling persists. At $52,000, he took home about $3,400 per month and spent $2,200 on fixed costs, leaving $1,200 flexible. At $97,000, he now brings home around $6,100 monthly, but the townhome costs $1,100 more than the old apartment. The car payment is $480. Insurance climbed $140. Dining and subscriptions added $600. Fixed expenses expanded to $4,900. Discretionary cash? About $1,200 again. The treadmill kept pace perfectly. Part 2. The pattern scales upward. In 2023, Bank of America reported that over half of households earning between $100,000 and $150,000 described living paycheck to paycheck. A separate 2022 survey showed more than a third of people earning over $200,000 felt the same. Income rose, margin didn't, because expectations inflate with earnings. Call this lifestyle creep, but it's deeper than spending habits. It's social calibration. When Marcus earned $52,000, his peers lived similarly. At $97,000, his comparison group changed. The vacations look bigger. The kitchens look renovated. The cars are leased. The pressure isn't survival, it's status. This is where the arrival fallacy sneaks in. We imagine relief waiting at a number. 6 figures, $150,000, a $1 million net worth, retirement at 55. But research on goal pursuit consistently shows people experience more fulfillment progressing toward meaningful targets than standing at the finish line. Training for a marathon often feels richer than crossing it. Building a business can feel more alive than selling it. Anticipation frequently produces more sustained emotion than acquisition. So Marcus hit $97,000. For 3 months, he felt ahead. Then the mind adjusted. The house became standard. The raise became expected. The next milestone formed automatically. The treadmill is silent. It doesn't announce itself. It just moves. Part 3. There is, however, a structural escape hatch. First, create an anchor before income rises. Decide in advance how raises will be divided. For example, commit 60% to investing, 40% to lifestyle upgrades. If Marcus receives a $14,000 raise, $8,400 flows directly into index funds or retirement accounts. Only $6,500 touches lifestyle. Without a rule, the default is 100% expansion. Second, use negative visualization, a Stoic practice thousands of years old. Imagine losing the job, the apartment, the health you take for granted. Not to spiral, but to interrupt adaptation. Studies on gratitude show that mentally contrasting loss with current reality increases appreciation without external change. When Marcus remembers what earning $52,000 felt like, $97,000 regains context. Third, optimize spending for time rather than display. A 2017 study in the Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences found that people who spent money to save time reported greater life satisfaction than those who bought material goods. The ultimate time purchase is financial independence. Here's where math clarifies emotion. Using a 4% withdrawal guideline, every $25 invested can sustainably generate about $1 of annual income. That's the 25-to-1 ratio. If Marcus wants $60,000 per year in passive income, he needs roughly $1.5 million invested. That's a concrete endpoint. Status has no endpoint. Freedom does. Understanding diminishing returns changes the game. Income up to roughly $75,000, about $95,000 to $100,000 today, meaningfully improves day-to-day emotional stability. Beyond that, gains exist but taper. So instead of chasing infinite expansion, define sufficiency. What annual spending actually covers housing, food, healthcare, transportation, investing, and meaningful experiences? Suppose Marcus calculates that $68,000 per year supports a life he genuinely values. Everything above that becomes optionality, not identity. If he invests $30,000 annually and earns average market returns, compounding over a decade becomes powerful. 10 years of disciplined investing can replace a meaningful portion of required income. Each dollar invested is a claim on future autonomy. Each lifestyle upgrade is a claim on future labor. The hedonic treadmill evolved to keep humans striving in scarcity. In a consumer economy saturated with comparison, it keeps us restless even in abundance. You are not defective for wanting more. You are adapted. But adaptation can be redirected. Define enough. Pre-commit raises. Favor experiences over possessions. Remember that emotional spikes from income last 3 to 6 months, not forever. Use the 4% rule and the 25-to-1 ratio to translate ambition into freedom instead of optics. Recognize that happiness plateaus near $75,000 and flattens around $195,000 to $100,000 in terms of emotional lift. After that, autonomy matters more than accumulation. Success is not hitting the next salary tier. It is reaching the point where your investments cover your needs and your time is no longer sold by necessity. The treadmill only runs if you keep chasing a moving horizon. You can step off.